Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and your daily transfer update on this Saturday afternoon. As always, there is plenty to go through. Chelsea are closing in on the signing of Tosin Adarabioyo on a free transfer. If everything goes to plan, then the Fulham centre-back should be Chelsea's first summer signing and the first signing under Maresca. So we're going to Maresca. We're going to dive into all the Tosin Adarabioyo stuff. There's more news on Victor Osimhen from Fabrizio Romano suggesting that the age of the player was also a factor, which is interesting considering he's only recently turned 25. We're going to unpack that. We're also going to dive into the goalkeeping situation. Chelsea have been in touch with Philip Jorgensen's representatives as well. And Ben Jacobs reporting that Chelsea and Arsenal are the two clubs that have made the most advancement in a deal for Benjamin Sesko. Sesko's not agreed to any club yet, and the release clause is £55 million. So let's wait and see what happens on that one. We're going to dive into Sesko, dive into Osimhen, dive into Tosin Adarabioyo, what this means of Trevoh Chalobah, what this means for Chelsea's defence in general as well. Big up to everyone that's locked in, guys. Love to you all. Smash the like button, people. You know what to do. Make sure you subscribe as well. We're 9 away now from 9.7k. Let's chalk those 9 subscribers off today. So smash the subscribe button. Let's take another step closer to 10k. Remember, guys, at 10k, there is the giveaway of a Chelsea shirt for the upcoming season when they're released. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel and let's hit the 9.7k. Let's say hello to a few people in the chat and then we will get this show on the road, guys. Hope Gallagher stays. The board, please give him a decent contract. I hope he does as well. Yeah, apparently so, brother. Apparently so. We're going to get into that. Who do you prefer to be striker, Sesko or Gyökeres? Well, I prefer Gyökeres, but I think the most likely outcome is Sesko. Yes, big up, big up. I'll be honest, no one's replacing Silva. Players like Silva aren't replaceable. Look at Adarabioyo as an opportunistic, smart piece of business. Again, Trevoh Chalobah's never played for England. Neither's Fikayo Tomori's played limited games. Just because you've not played for England doesn't make you a bad player. What else is coming in? There's so much stuff, guys. We need Olise. Noni is the second option. Palmer is better as left wing. Palmer's operated the entire time off the right-hand side, though, since he's been at Chelsea. Operated right side and as the 10. So I'm not too sure what you're referring to. If he operates better off the left, that doesn't really make sense. If we're being real, if Dortmund Pot should be on his knees, what? I'm happy with the Tosin signing. For free, good business. Yeah, I agree. No, Osimhen couldn't be further away. 2 seconds, guys, just to plug my charger in. The Osimhen deal couldn't be any further away from happening. It's not going to happen. As it stands right now, it's not happening. Chelsea have got different plans. Again, Sesko hasn't already chosen Arsenal. Chelsea and Arsenal are the most advanced of in terms of a deal for him, but Sesko has not decided his next club yet. Right. Anyway. Yeah, exactly. This is a fair point. Unfortunately, the academy's twofold: produce good players for the first team and then sell the others on for a profit. My issue with it is that these guys, that Chalobah and Gallagher, are seemingly being sold to cover up for mistakes in the transfer market. That's where I'm annoyed by it, and that's where I'm annoyed that the club are just using these guys as a get out of jail card for their mistakes in the transfer market. I haven't got an issue with academy players being sold, but I've got an issue with them being sold when they're good enough for the first team and they're purely being sold to cover up for mistakes. That's where my issue is with it. But yeah, guys, big up to everyone that's locked in. Remember, if you want to guarantee your comment gets read out, please do use the super chat function. I will try and get through as many comments as I can. And yes, big up to Jermaine. Guys, make sure you're doing that. Smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. You people Know the drill round here. We've got almost 100 in the building already. 31 likes. Let's get this up to 50 likes and let's get this to 9.7k. Less than 10 subscribers. Do your thing, people. Is it 100% that Tosin's joining? No, it's not 100%. I'd probably say it's at around 80 or 90%. But let's get into this Tosin stuff then, guys, because we knew it was reported a few weeks ago, like Chelsea's been looking at him, and then we had it reported on Sky Sports maybe last week that Chelsea had offered a contract to Tosin Adarabioyo. And then we didn't really hear much more of it from then. And then suddenly today, we had an exclusive from Fabrizio Romano saying that Chelsea are closing in on a deal to sign Tosin Adarabioyo. Negotiations are at the final stages. Newcastle have been working on the Tosin deal for weeks, but Chelsea now clear favourites. Caution until it's sealed. Tosin to be the first signing for Enzo Maresca if all goes to plan. So it looks like we've beaten off interest from Newcastle. Man United were reportedly interested as well. Again, other reports coming out suggesting that suggesting that Tosin was keen to test himself at the highest level, feeling that Chelsea would give him the best chance of doing that. Newcastle were leading the race for him, but they have not been able to see off a late move from Chelsea. And of course, we offered a bigger financial package than the Magpies did. I don't think by any accounts Tosin is on large money. But what I would say about the Adarabioyo deal is, right, several things to go through here, guys. Let's go through the positives here. Free transfer. Okay. Guaranteed to make a profit on him when he gets sold, which we know this ownership like. Premier League experience, has got leadership qualities, and it's smart business. Those are all positives, and it's the kind of business we should be doing this summer. Smart business, guys. We've talked about smart business so often at Chelsea and not doing it. This is smart business. He's got good pace for a big guy. He's brilliant aerially. I think he's 6'5". He's got leadership qualities, as I said. He's a good passer. Breaks the lines with his pass, and he suits the way we're trying to play. And with his height, Bernardo Cueva, the new set piece coach, is going to love him. He can be a real threat in both boxes. So I get it. It's important not to look at this as a Thiago Silva replacement, because that's not what it is. Thiago Silva is irreplaceable. So you're looking at doing smart business. Looking at smart business, and this represents exactly that. This is. I'll be real right now. I'd much rather do this deal on a free than go and spend 70, 80 million pounds on someone like an Osimhen Diamonde, because this represents better value for money. And it's going to be a sound, solid acquisition. I think that's really crucial. Really, really crucial, guys. It's smart business. And it just makes sense on so many levels. The other issue for me though is how often is Adarabioyo going to play? That's the big thing. Because you look at it and you think, well, you would expect he'd be a replacement for Chalobah, but there's no guarantees that Chalobah leaves. He's got 4 years remaining on his contract. He wants to stay at Chelsea. There's no guarantees he leaves. So I think whilst we're fully aware that the club are actively looking to sell Chalobah is under contract until 2028. Whilst the club want to sell him and it's likely he leaves this summer, I don't think it cannot be taken as a certain that Trev leaves. It cannot be taken as a certain that Trev leaves this summer. And so it's important not to believe that Tosin is directly replacing him. He could well end up doing that, but I think it's important to realise that that might not be the case. And let's remember here, guys, there's a clear link again with Tosin Adarabioyo. He's a Manchester City Academy graduate, made 8 appearances for the first team, knows Joe Shields, knows Enzo Maresca, both were formerly Man City. And again, Joe Shields, I think, prominent in this still. I don't know how much Maresca's been involved in this, given he's not even been officially announced yet. So I wouldn't have thought that he's played a big role in the deal. But there's no reason why. There's no coincidence that, Tosin, a former Manchester City Academy graduate, knows Joe Shields, probably knows Enzo Maresca, is suddenly going to join Chelsea. So yeah, I don't think that's any coincidence whatsoever on that one. From Adarabioyo, he doesn't need to move house. He doesn't need to relocate. He gets to test himself at the highest level. He gets his move to a big club, and I just think it makes sense on a number of levels. It really does. I'm quite reserved about signings that come in. I'm not really too sure what to expect. Whatever happens with Tosin Adarabioyo, it's a win-win because he's not cost any money, and we're guaranteed to make a profit on him. So, this is a lose-lose situation for the football club. And it's exactly the sort of smart business that the club should be doing, because you look at it and, increasingly, players are proving to be very expensive, and you've got to find bargains and shrewd bits of business when you can. And a 26-year-old with over 129 appearances for Fulham, Premier League experience, proven in the league, leadership qualities, on a free transfer is massive. I mean, Adarabioyo is probably a 40 million pound player if he's not out of contract. So I think it's really crucial for clubs like Chelsea to be looking at the free market and seeing what's about. You only have to look at the likes of Real Madrid picking up Kylian Mbappe on a free. That's quite high profile. But Rudiger was on a free transfer. We got Thiago Silva on a free. Christensen left the club on a free. There are good free transfers out there. And the good thing about a free transfer is they are risk-free, guys, because you've not spent any money. You've not spent any money on them whatsoever. This is good business. And do you know what? In fairness, guys, this is it. And there's no coincidence to me that suddenly Maresca's been appointed, and we're targeting someone that came through the Manchester City Academy in Tosin Adarabioyo. It makes sense. It makes sense. And look, you look at what the Manchester City connection at Chelsea right now: Joe Shields, Enzo Maresca incoming, Cole Palmer we signed, Romeo Lavia was at Manchester City's academy, Tosin Adarabioyo incoming at City's academy. We've taken Raheem Sterling from Manchester City as well. There's no coincidence that there is a strong hint of Manchester City at Chelsea, and there's even going to be a little bit of sky blue on the home kit next season as well, guys. There's even going to be a little bit of sky blue on the home kit next season. I just think City paid about 15 mil for Akanji. Akanji's moved to Dortmund. Potentially could have been on a free. I don't know for certain on that one, guys. Yes, big up to Matthew from Jamaica. Love, bro. I appreciate you, the support. Greatly appreciate it. And big up to all the Chelsea fans in Jamaica. Big up, guys. Yeah, bro, it's easier said than done. We know Sterling's wages are a joke. They are a joke. Unless he was going to prepared to take a massive pay cut, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. 8 appearances at Man City. I don't think not good enough. I think he just realised that the opportunity probably wasn't going to be there. Just like Cole Palmer realised that the opportunity wasn't going to be there for regular football, and he decided to go elsewhere and drop down a division, go and play, build himself up. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. This idea that people think that players aren't good because they didn't make it at Man City. Cole Palmer didn't make it at Man City, and look how good a player he is. Romeo Lavia didn't make it at Man City. He's going to be a top player. Just because you don't make it in the first team at Manchester City doesn't mean you're a bad player. It really doesn't. Well, none of that's been revealed yet, because obviously the deal's not gone through yet. If everything goes to plan, then it will be announced. If I had to take a guess, I'd suggest that 26, maybe a 3 or 4 year deal for Tosin, 3 or 4 years deal. Let's hope that the owners have actually learned something. No, look, to be fair, I don't look at this as a bad move. I really don't, because it's free, Premier League experience, got leadership qualities. It's exactly the sort of move that makes a ton of sense. Exactly the sort of move that makes a ton of sense, guys. Chelsea fans, if our owners and recruitment can't do these 3 things, they need to go and sell the Sheikh Jassim. Keep Chalobah. Well, Osimhen's not coming. Hall and Martin will go. Chalobah and Gallagher to stay. I think one stays. Not true. He's been looked at in the past, but I don't think there's anything active for him this summer as it is. Yes, big up, Stuart. Nah, it's all good, brother. All good. Yeah, it's not about whether, like, it's argue, like, at the end of the day, you can argue about whether Tosin's better than Chalobah or not. But like this, we have to be honest here. Whatever you think of the signing, whatever you think of the player, this is not bad business by Chelsea. Whatever way you want to look at it, you know, for me, it's impossible how anyone can come to the conclusion that this is bad business. This is not bad business, guys. This is very much, you know, a good deal, an opportunistic deal. And yeah, Lewis Hall sold already. It was a loan with an obligation, and that obligation has become permanent. So we'll wait for that to be announced. Any news on Olise? No real advancement from what's already out there, but we can cover that a bit later on. No, he's not. Akanji's a good player. Akanji's a good player. He's a good player. Yeah, no, there's no denying that Gyökeres is better than Duran. Like, I don't think anyone's denying that. Guys, there's so much coming in the chat. I will try and get to that stuff later. Yeah, I think he was in the Fulham team that went down. I think he was in the Fulham team that went down. Yeah, and then he obviously helped them come back up. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in the Fulham team that did go down. But again, that doesn't mean you're a bad player. If Chelsea bring in Diamonde alongside Tosin, then I'm okay with it. He's the only player I rate higher than Trev on the market. I mean, look, for me, I just think it's a ridiculous amount of money to be spending, you know, on a centre back. You know, 70 million quid. I think a free transfer like this makes a lot of sense. It really makes a lot of sense. Apparently, there's been a. Oh, we've got more news, guys. We've got more news. So, breaking. Tosin Adarabioyo will have a Chelsea medical next week. Wow. Big news. Big news, guys. Let's change the title here. Tosin Adarabioyo is going to have his medical next week. Next week, medical for Tosin Adarabioyo, guys. Huge. That's big news, guys. Yeah, guys, confirmed. It's pretty much confirmed, people. Tosin Adarabioyo will have his Chelsea medical next week. And do you know what? Fair play. Sky Sports have been bang on with the Tosin deal. They have been bang on, these guys. You know, so fair play to them. Fair play to them. Guys, over 200 in the building. Big up to every single one of you that's locked in, guys. Smash that like button. 69 likes. We need to get this well over 100. So keep smashing the like button. It's free. And remember to keep subscribing to the channel, guys. Need to hit that 9.7K. We must be closing in, guys. 6 subscribers to go. There's over 200 in the building. there's definitely 6 people that aren't subscribed. So hit that subscribe button, get to 9.7K. Let's take another step closer to the 10K, where there is a prize giveaway of a Chelsea shirt from the upcoming season for one lucky subscriber. So get subscribed, guys. But yeah, the big breaking news this afternoon then, guys, we've gone from Chelsea closing in on a deal to Tosin Adarabioyo will now have his medical next week. And it appears the first signing of the summer, the first signing under Enzo Maresca is imminently closing in, and it should be confirmed. It should be confirmed next week, which is exciting stuff. You know, whatever you think, it's always exciting when players come through the door. Always exciting when players come through the door. You have to be honest here. He's not a Fulham outcast because Fulham wanted him to stay, but they didn't offer him a new deal because he was set because he wanted to leave. It's as simple as that. So this idea that he's definitely not a Fulham outcast. No, I don't think we do. I don't think we need. For me personally, I wouldn't have been signing any centre backs this summer. But obviously, we are going to sign a centre back this summer. It's going to be Tosin. Right now, we definitely do not need another one. We don't need another one. If Chelsea are smart and have got their brains engaged, which they probably don't, having done something intelligent with this Tosin deal, they're probably now going to go and do something highly unintelligent, like sell Trevoh Chalobah and then go and drop 50 or 60 million on someone like an Osimhen Diamonde. You know, that's the problem. That is the problem. Yeah, and do you know what? Do you know what's good here, guys? Is that we are being proactive, getting things done. The manager is in quickly. You know, I know it's not been announced, but it's done. The manager's in quickly, well before pre-season. Looks like we're getting Tosin Adarabioyo in well before pre-season. We need to get as much of this business done as quickly as possible before the season starts, so that these guys can have the whole pre-season to bed in and get used to the situation. But this is a good move. You know, this is not like a massive transfer or anything like that, but this is a good move, guys. It's a good transfer. It's smart business. We're getting things sorted out early doors, and let's hope that continues. Whether that is going to continue remains to be seen. Because as I said, whenever Chelsea do something good, they tend to follow it up by doing something that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So not only have we done a good thing in getting this Tosin deal done, we've done a good thing in pulling out of the Osimhen deal for financial reasons. We're due something stupid now. We are due something stupid now. So I don't know. I don't know what that's going to be. Yeah, Tosin will have his medical next week. Fabrizio Romano confirming that as well. And he's going to sign a long-term contract. A long-term contract at 26. Then must be 4 or 5 years. Take him into his 30s. Exciting, you know. He's on a free. Guys, so many things coming in the chat. I'll try and get through as quickly as possible. I'll try and get through as much as I can. This low-key transfer, you know, we were working behind the scenes. Suddenly, this appeared out of nowhere, and we're gonna complete the signing of Tosin Adarabioyo, guys. And the reality is, what I would say is, he's much better than Trevoh Chalobah. Sorry, not Chalobah. Sorry, he's much better than Axel Disasi. That's the reality of the situation. And if anyone should be leaving this summer, you know, nothing to do with Disasi being poor last season, it should be Axel Disasi. He should be the one leaving this summer. But he's clearly not, though. He's clearly not. Although we have seen it, though. We have seen it in terms of Koulibaly came in and was sold after a season. Admittedly, that season wasn't that good, but Disasi, you know, fell out of favour at the end of last season. So I don't expect him to feature that much under Maresca. You know, if anyone's going to fall victim of Maresca coming in, it's Disasi. You know, he doesn't really suit the style of play. He likes to sit deep and defend in the box. Maresca plays defence with a high line. You know, needs good recovery pace. That's not Disasi's game. So I don't see Disasi featuring regularly under Maresca at all. I really don't. I really don't. There's no pressure on this deal. Tosin's coming in for a free. There's no expectation. There's no pressure, he's coming for a big transfer fee. What's going to happen to him? There's going to be very little expectation on him. So there's going to be very little pressure for him to settle in and and take his time to crack on. I mean, look, he plays right? He's a right-sided centre-back. If Wesley Fofana can't keep himself fit and he's going to need time to build up his minutes, I think Tosin's better than Disasi. And if Chalobah leaves, then whilst Fofana's getting back up to speed, you would expect that Adarabioyo could certainly be the first choice right centre back to start the season potentially. It really wouldn't be a surprise if he was. I'm not saying he's going to feature regularly next season, but I don't think you can rule out the fact that he could well feature at the start of the season whilst Wesley Fofana is getting himself up to speed. That's the important one. That's the important one. And again, there's more. There's just been more of an update from the Czar Cancella. Let's quickly get to this. Defender Tosin Adarabioyo is close to joining Chelsea on a free transfer from Fulham this summer. He will sign a long-term deal subject to medical. Choice is not about money for the player. Part of the decision to sign him has been his excellent aerial prowess, with set-piece coach Bernardo Cueva joining from Brentford to sort the issues from last season. There's space in the squad after Thiago Silva left, but Trevoh Chalobah's future remains in some doubt. And this is what I'm saying, guys. There's space in the squad for it, but there's no guarantee that Trevoh Chalobah leaves, which is what I've been saying. There's no guarantee Trevoh Chalobah leaves due to the fact he's under contract, and whether he wants to accept a move or not is entirely up to him. Entirely up to him. Yes, big up, mate. I hope you're doing well, bro. I hope you're doing well. Should be back. Scheduled to be back for pre-season. Scheduled to be back for pre-season. So, yeah, I don't see. He'll get back into pre-season. Hopefully, he gets some minutes and that in the pre-season, and we've got to build from there. He's not played any football for a long, long time. Yeah, this deal's moved quickly, but I suspect it's been accelerating behind the scenes for a number of weeks now. I do expect that has absolutely happened. Fofana needs some fitness and stop getting injured. Yeah, I mean he's not. I mean the ACL is unfortunate. That's just one of those unfortunate things. I can't lie, we struggle in aerial duel, so I understand the signing. We still need to bring another centre back to upgrade on Chalobah if he leaves. Look, do I think we need another centre back? No, because I just keep Chalobah. But if Chalobah does leave, then yeah, you could argue maybe we do need another centre half. Maybe we do require another centre half if Trevoh Chalobah does leave. But as it stands right now, I absolutely think that we do not need another centre back. We really don't after this Tosin deal, because for me personally, it should be left at that. And again, for me, like this, people are certain that Chalobah are leaving, I think, are wide of the mark, because, as I said, he's under contract until 2028, and he doesn't have to accept any move anyway. He's the sort of guy that backs himself and is prepared to stay and fight for his place, and he's proven time and time again that he is more than good enough to play for Chelsea. So I don't think we can take any guarantees or any assumptions that he will choose to leave the football club, despite the fact that he wants that, despite the fact the club want to sell him. It's not about the bid, it's not about whether the clubs agree a fee. It's down to the player. The player has a say in whether he wants to go or not. So Chelsea can agree a fee with the club. They agreed a fee with Burnley for Ian Martin last season. He didn't want to go. Chelsea and Nottingham Forest agreed a fee for Chalobah last summer. He didn't want to go. So agreeing the fee is irrelevant, because ultimately you need to find out if the player wants to go. If the player wants to go, then fine. But I don't get the feeling that Chalobah wants to leave the football club. So yeah, let's wait and see how he feels about it. Let's wait and see what offers. Let's wait and see what offers he gets. as well, because there'll be offers will come in because he's a top player. He's a top player. And let's be real, right? If we are having to go down the route of selling Chalobah, which we absolutely shouldn't be, then it's really important to realise, guys, that get value for your player. Don't chronically undervalue players, right? Chelsea seem to undervalue their own and then massively overpay for other people's. Let's be real right now. 4 years left on a contract, 24 years of age, can play right back, centre back, can play in a back three, can play in a back four, can play holding midfield if necessary. 24 years of age, 4 years left on the contract. If Trevoh Chalobah, with everything I've just said and the performance levels he's putting in for us, he was doing for a Dortmund or a Monaco, for example, at the end of last season, those not only would Chelsea be interested in signing him, those clubs would be asking for 50, 60, maybe even 70 million pounds for him. Because let's be real, the bare minimum value of Trevoh Chalobah is 50 to 60 million pounds. You know, it is. Anyone getting Chalobah for less than 50 or 60 million is getting an absolute steal. Because he is worth so much more than that. He is worth so much more than that, but people, for whatever reason, don't seem to rate him. Chelsea don't, people within the club don't seem to rate him. And I can't get my head round it, guys. I cannot get my head round why people at Chelsea do not seem to rate Trevoh Chalobah and do not seem to value him properly. You know, if we are having to go down this route of selling Chalobah, at least get your money's worth. Like, understand that this is a guy that is worth 50 million pounds in this market. Don't offer some cut price 25 million pound deal, because that is a shambles. That is an absolute shambles. Absolutely criminal in my view. That is an absolute criminal valuation. By the way, guys, 233 in the building. Big up to everyone that's locked in. 95 likes. Keep smashing the like button, people, and keep subscribing to the channel as well. I think we're just a couple away now from 9.7k. Let's take the next step, guys, to 9.7. One more subscriber required, but it doesn't stop there. Keep smashing the likes, keep subscribing to the channel. The road to 10k is getting ever closer, guys. So make sure if you're locked in now and you've not subscribed, become part of the community, subscribe to the channel, join the channel, guys, and you won't regret it. All the best Chelsea news and content coming from myself and guests throughout the entire summer, the Euros, the transfer market, all that stuff. And there is a shirt giveaway at the big 10k. So make sure you are subscribing to the channel, guys. Love as always. Yeah, this is what there's a good point from Texas here. Trev is a 50 to 60 million pound centre back. I never said Tosin was a huge deal, by the way. It's a good deal and good business. I'm sorry, but Trevoh Chalobah is a 50 to 60 million pound centre back. Any centre back doing what Chalobah did last season in Europe, they are valuing him at 50 or 60 million pounds. I'm sorry, they absolutely are. People who think that's too high, don't forget English tax as well. Yep, exactly. If he goes to a Premier League club, he'd be helping with their homegrown quota. This idea that people don't think that Chalobah's worth 50 or 60 million is beyond me. I mean, am I losing the plot here? Am I completely wide of the mark? I don't know. Am I wide of the mark here? Am I wide of the mark here? I've got no idea. But yeah, people need to take into account English tax. They also need to take into account the fact that we'd be helping with other clubs' homegrown quota. So yeah, I think that's an absolutely fair. I think that's an absolutely fair valuation. I really do. I really think that's a fair valuation. But we're not going to ask for that. We're not going to get that. So yeah. You know, let's wait and see what happens. But I think this is a really good. I think this is a really good move. By the way, I think this is a really good move. Yes, big up to my guy like Drama King. Big up, bro. Thank you for subscribing. Greatly appreciated. We've hit a 9.7. Big up, guys. Big up. The road to 10k is getting ever closer. We're heading into the final straight, guys. But let's move away from this Tosin Adarabioyo stuff. Let's move on to more news. It's all coming out the woodwork today, isn't it, guys? It's all coming out. Let's bring this up now. Chelsea have been closely monitoring Crescencio Somerville. There are two clubs really interested in Somerville more than others, Chelsea and Liverpool. Now that's really interesting, guys. That is really interesting, you know, because we're obviously looking at wide players. We're obviously looking at wide players because, you know, we're looking at Olise. Now, I 100% believe that Michael Olise is the main target this summer in the wide area. However, if a deal for Olise is not possible or he prefers to go to Man United, then Somerville looks like he could be another prime target. You know, I think Chelsea are doing their due diligence on Somerville. Of course, he can play right. He plays on the is he a left winger? Is he? I'm not entirely sure. He's obviously a left or right. He's a left wing apparently. Look, he's done really well last season. I think he scored 22 goals for Leeds last season. Touchline winger, but again, we've got those. We've got a touchline winger in Madrid. We've got a touchline winger in Madueke. Is Somerville any better than either of those two players? I would say not. Like, I don't see how a move for Somerville makes any sense unless Raheem Sterling leaves and you can't sign Michael Olise. Then you look at other options. Again, I think Chelsea would be looking at I think you're then looking at the situation where, you know, Somerville is not better than Madrid. Somerville's not better than Madueke, despite what some people might try and claim. He's not. He's got good ability and good potential. Scored a number of goals last season in the Championship, but again, I think what appeals is the player's ability to improve. I think what also appeals is the fact that he'd be relatively cheap at £30 million, and £30 million for a wide player in this market is pretty good going. You know, that represents a fair rate, a decent rate. But yeah, I'm not fully sold on this. Again, you know, it's just interest at this point. But yeah, I'm slightly unsure. I'm just a bit unsure. I mean, I wouldn't think that. I can see him more likely going to Liverpool if I'm being perfectly honest. I see him more likely going to Liverpool. I just think Chelsea are going to push really hard for Olise this summer. The Joe Shields factor, they're going to do everything they can to get him in. But yeah, I'm not convinced. Ultimately, if any wide player is going to leave, then it needs to be Sterling. But I can't see him leaving. You know, I know people are saying that Palmer operated off the right hand side last season, but I expect that Cole Palmer could be dropped deeper, and I think Palmer could operate as one of the more offensive number 8s in Maresca's 4-3-3 system if he decides to deploy that, and he'd take up that Dewsbury Hall role, the more advanced of the 2 8s, and then you have 2 touchline wingers in Mudryk and Madueke, you have 1 touchline winger and you play in Kunku on the other side or whatever. Somerville is an interesting proposition, clearly a talented player. The price appeals. He fits the age range. I think he's 22. He fits into that bracket. He's a goal scorer. Can he step up to the Premier League? You would absolutely expect him to be able to make that step up to the Premier League. No doubt about it. You would 100% expect him to make the step up to the Premier League. But would he make the step up to Chelsea? Would he be a success for Chelsea? These are questions that we don't know the answer to. Is he a Maresca type of player? You could say that with the way that he hugs the touchlines and whatnot. But I think, you know, it's clear that, you know, obviously he's nowhere near as good as Michael Olise. Michael Olise should be the number 1 plan. But it's interesting that Chelsea are looking at wide players. And it's clear that the club do want to sign one. They do want to sign one. And again, an Enzo Maresca announcement, guys, looking more likely to be on Monday. So it looks like Enzo Maresca announcement is going to be on Monday. Simon Johnson from The Athletic reporting that Maresca will be announced before any transfers are announced. So yeah, more likely to be Monday that we get the Enzo Maresca announcement. Yeah, he was behind Rafinha when they were in the Premier League, wasn't he? Elise absolutely would be the choice, bro. Under no circumstances should Sterling be should be staying. Under zero circumstances, he's not good enough. He's probably the worst wide player at the club right now. He's on a ridiculous amount of money, and he doesn't fit the project anymore. I don't think he ever fitted the project. And for me, he's not good enough, and he's the one that needs to go. Not only is he not good enough, not only is he older, he's also on ridiculous money as well. So him leaving would free up a lot of wages at Chelsea as well, a lot of wages. Because one, the club have invested a lot of money in him. It's been 18 months. It's too soon to say anything to write him off. You're not going to get any return on your investment or anywhere near your investment if you try and sell now. And he's got bags of ability, bags of talent. It's just about coaching it and refining it. And he's better than Sterling. All right, his end products might not necessarily be better, but Sterling has to go. It's as simple as that. Whether we can get him to go is another thing. Whether we can get him to leave remains to be seen, guys. Absolutely remains to be seen. And I exactly agree with this point here from Discotheque. Sterling just doesn't make sense in a squad right now. On his day, he's unplayable. We already have inconsistent youth who can change games. Rather, they have the minutes. Yep, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree on that front. Guys, it's all booting off, isn't it? It's all booting off. What's going on now? Fabrizio is providing the goods today, guys. He is providing the goods today. Let's have a look on Michael Olise. So again, yep, confirmed here by Fabrizio. Let's just get this Somerville stuff wrapped up, and then I will move on to Olise, guys. Keep smashing the likes, people. Keep subscribing to the channel as well. Chelsea and Liverpool are still keeping a close eye on Crescencio Somerville's situation at Leeds. Both clubs have been monitoring him this season and showing interest in recent weeks. Nothing advanced yet, but talks for the Dutch winger are expected to begin soon. Interesting. Championship manager, championship players coming in, you could say, if you were being slightly cynical there. But yeah, Chelsea's interest is clearly pretty high, pretty big for Somerville. Yep, Slot is Dutch. So again, there could be the Dutch connection with Slot at Liverpool. But I mean, yeah, guys, let's wait and see what happens on that front, because I mean, Chelsea's interest in Somerville is clearly a lot more advanced than I was expecting. A lot more advanced. You know, I knew that we'd been looking at him, but yeah, I didn't really think it was down to the fact that it's down to Chelsea and Liverpool that were the main clubs, keeping a close eye on him. I mean, fair. Suddenly things are starting to come alive, people. Things are starting to come alive. And things are happening. Things are happening. Again, it's very hard to judge a player, how he'll make the step up from the Championship to the Premier League. But look, I think Somerville's got good credentials. He's clearly can score goals. He's proven he can score goals in the Championship. And it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. And it's certainly one to watch, guys. It's 100% one to keep an eye on. No doubt about it. I mean, I'm not entirely convinced it's the right thing to be be going for, but maybe it would make sense. I mean, it makes sense from an age perspective. It makes sense from a price point perspective. Outside of that, is it an upgrade on? Is he an upgrade on anything we've got right now? I don't believe so. So I'm not sure in that sense how it really makes much sense. Sorry, when you've then got Esteval, Willian, and Kendry Paez coming in 2025. So yeah, again, like whoever ends up coming in the wide position, I question the thought process behind the developmental pathway because I'm a little bit confused on that front as to where the pathway is. I would say, bro, what I would say is that anyone looks good in comps because it's a player's best bits. So of course they're going to look good in a comp. That's the whole point of a comp, is it makes players it's the very best of players. So you don't get any of the bad bits. So of course he's going to look good in a comp. I think he's a good player, but whether he's right for Chelsea or not, I'm not convinced. I'll be honest, bro. I don't massively rate Angelo, and I suspect he'll go on loan again next season. I'd be surprised if Angelo played for the club. I'll be honest. I really would be. I could be well wide of the mark with that, but I don't see Angelo as someone that's going to figure regularly at Chelsea at all. He's not going to get ahead of Madueke. He's not going to get ahead of Olise if he comes. He's not going to get ahead of Mudryk. He's not going to get ahead of Nkunku down the flanks if he plays. And then you've got the thing with Kendry Paez and Esteval Willian coming. Is he going to be competing with those guys? In the long run, is he going to play ahead of those guys? No, he probably isn't. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. But let's move on to the update on Michael Olise, guys. Let's move on to that Michael Olise update. Where are we? Announcement from Maresca on Monday, looking more likely. Yet we're getting that. Right, let's get this Olise thing up and running, people. Olise up and running. Let's do this. Chelsea really appreciate Michael Olise. We will return to the Olise case in the next days, says Fabrizio. So, yeah, I think it's clear. For Olise, I think he's almost certain to leave the club, to leave Palace. Almost certain. Let me just quickly get to this super chat, by the way. Big up to Sean, by the way. Thank you for the donation, brother. Greatly appreciated. Why Olise when we have Noni and Willian next year? Well, we don't have Esteval Willian next season. He comes in 2025. Also, competition for places, improve the squad. Competition for places, quality, strength in depth. There's going to be a lot of games. These things are all important. And whilst I fully agree, by the way, that Olise is a want rather than a need, when you've got an opportunity to get a player of his quality, you don't say no. You don't say no. You do everything you can to get them, because let's be real, regardless of who's coming and regardless of what it means for the pathway, Olise coming in is an automatic upgrade for Chelsea. It's an automatic upgrade on the attack. It makes the attack instantly better. It really does. The thought of him, Palmer, and Nkunku behind the Jackson or behind a Sesko is mad. Olise at what is believed to be around £60 million, the increased release clause, is still a huge bargain. It's still a huge bargain. He's young, but he's talented. He's Premier League proven. He's a goal scorer. He's got great ability. He was at the Chelsea Academy. His brother's still at the club. Joe Shields knows him personally from his time when Olise was at Man City as a young kid. So again, the Joe Shields connection is there. And right now, Joe Shields is probably the only person I trust at the football club in a decision-making capacity. So if Joe Shields wants a player, then you go and get that player, or you do everything you can to get them. And I'm fully on board with it. I am fully on board with anything to do with Joe Shields. If Joe Shields recommends a player, then I'm fully on board, guys. I am fully on board. I would agree on this. Joe Schill's probably one of, if not the only positive out of the ownership. He is a real plus, guys. There's no denying that. He is a huge plus. But yeah, let's see how this unfolds. It is unfortunate. I say unfortunately, it is going to be one of those that let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens over the coming days, over the coming weeks, the coming months with Olise. Chelsea versus United for him. I think he plays. He starts for Chelsea. He starts for Man United. It just depends what he wants, really. It depends what he wants. I think he's believed to have been a Man United fan. I'm not actually sure. But let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see what happens. But yeah, he's absolutely he's a top player. Olise is a top player. You know, really like him. Makes a huge difference. It's I don't know. I don't know if we're favourites, but it's between us and United. I think we've got a lot of good groundwork in there. I think we've got a lot of things going in our favour. But I can't sit here with confidence and say that we definitely beat United to his signature, because the reality is I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if we would beat United to his signature. Joe Shields came to Jamaica to snatch up once. Oh yeah, he did. He played a part in the Dujon Richards, in the Whisper Richards signing as well. No, it doesn't mean anything. I don't care who players support. You know, as long as when you arrive at the football club, you give it your all when you put the shirt on. I couldn't care less if you're a fan or not. Ultimately, I think people put too much weight on that, and also they obviously don't realise that most of the players that play for the team they support aren't actually fans of the club. There's more players that aren't fans of the club than are fans of the club. You know, Cole Palmer was a boyhood Man United fan. You know, just as an example. Olise would start. I don't know if players can demand regular starts, but they can certainly ask for game time. So they can certainly ask what their game time might be. I don't think there's any danger of Olise not getting game time at Chelsea. I don't see that. I don't see that being an issue at all. I don't see any issue with Olise in terms of Olise and his game time at Chelsea. But let's wait and see on that front. But yeah, I've got no doubts that he would feature regularly. Agreed, irrelevant who a player supports, providing they give it their all. Exactly. Yeah, but bro, we've got 38 league games. We've got Conference League, we've got FA Cup, and we've got Carabao Cup. Not to mention injuries, rotations, suspensions. You know, this idea that you can't have two good players in each position is beyond me. There's more than enough games and more than enough minutes to go round for both Olise and Madueke, if it were to happen, to both get a decent amount of playing time. You know, that is the reality. Guys, 225 still in the building. Big up to every single person in here. Make sure, by the way, people, you are still smashing that like button. We're on 136 likes. Let's get this up to 150. Dare I say it, let's even try and push 200 likes tonight. Smash the like button, guys. It really helps. It pushes the content in the algorithm, gets more eyes on the channel. And after all, that is only a good thing. So please do that and keep hitting the subscribe button as well, guys. Heading towards 10K subscribers. We're over the next milestone of 9.7K. So guys, keep subscribing to the channel. If you're tuned in now, you're not subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Help me get ever closer to 10K and being with a chance of winning a a Chelsea shirt of your choice for the upcoming season when they're announced and when we get to that milestone. Okay, people. Olise, I think let's see what people are saying in here. Look, I think he certainly finished the season better. I think Mudrik's got a lot more potential and a lot, and can certainly reach a higher level. Personally, I don't think there's an awful lot of difference between them, but he certainly finished the season better. Chelsea has the craziest list of young right wingers. Olise's quality is the only thing that makes this look like a good signing. Yeah, I mean, there's no getting away from the fact that we would be stockpiling, but the fact of the matter is that his quality is too good to turn down. Too good to turn down. There's this idea that Olise is injury prone. He's not actually that injury prone. The only issue I would have is that it's the reoccurrence. So like he picks up hamstring injuries and then they reoccur. A little bit like Reece James in that sense, but he's not a massively injury prone player. What else is going on here? Dan Ashworth's not even in the door. I don't even know how good Barada is. Chelsea are, despite the fact the club's not very stable, they're a lot more stable and they're in a much better position than Man United are. So let's see on that front. There's also that. Yes, big up, brother. Appreciate the subscription. Yeah, he has already played. He has already played for City. I don't know if it's that difficult. It's heat at the moment. He doesn't owe that club anything. Just because he followed them when they're growing up. Let's have a look. Barada's not a sporting director; he's a CEO, which is different. Barada is not a sporting director to start with. London could be a big factor. Yeah, absolutely happy with the Tosin signing. Yep, happy with it. Do I think he'll be a consistent starter? I don't think so, but I think with the amount of games we're going to be playing, I think there will be plenty of minutes to go round for him. I think there'll be plenty of minutes to go round for him. So I would expect him to get some regular game time next season, but I wouldn't expect him to be a regular starter. And I think Olise, look, it's not a need. It's not a want. It's a need. So it's not a need. It's a want. If that's right, or it's not a want. No, it's not. I think that's the right way around. Anyway, it's a luxury. But as I said, you don't say no to those kind of players of that quality when they come through. No, I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be a problem, next season with the midfield with fullbacks inverting. I don't see that. I don't see that being an issue at all. In my view. Let's move away from that and let's move on to the striker situation, because there was a little bit of an update from Fabrizio last night on what am I saying? Oh yeah, on the centre forward, because there's been a couple of updates from Romano on Osimhen. So let's get into those. And let's cover Sesko as well. So this was last night. Chelsea has no intention to go for Victor Osimhen this summer. As of today, this is my information. He's not the priority striker target for Chelsea, and it's not even a negotiation. Chelsea have different ideas in terms of age of the player and cost of the deal. I'm really surprised that age of the player has been mentioned there. Surely that can't be a factor at all. The guy's just turned 25. In my mind, there's no way. There's no way that Olise, that the age of Osimhen is a factor as to why we're not pursuing the deal. The age comment's really puzzling, because you're seeing that he's too old, Osimhen at 25 is too old, supposedly, but then Tosin at 26 on a free transfer is all right. Is that because he's free, or is that because the age doesn't actually matter and we just chucked that in there when the reality is he's too expensive? For what it's worth, though, I actually think, you know, the finances of the deal don't make sense. The finances of the deal don't make sense. But yeah, it's an odd one because it just goes to show that maybe Chelsea don't know what they want, or what Chelsea want is actually changed. Has actually changed from say a few months ago. No, because I would have said that Chelsea absolutely want a penalty box striker who is just there on the end of chances to stick them in the back of the net. Now, with Maresca coming in, the fact that he likes the number 9 to drop deep and link the play up more, I'm thinking that maybe that's not what Chelsea need, Osimhen. You know, you can't, again, if you're going to spend £100 million and then over 100 million on him and then smash your wage structure, it doesn't, it's not, the maths is not mathing, people. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You know, this would be a third £100 million signing in 4 transfer windows. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know, if Osimhen was like 50 or 60 million, no problem. Let's do business. Let's talk. Let's get a deal sorted out. The wages are a huge problem. He's not worth smashing the wage structure for. And I just think he's not what, I just don't think he's what Chelsea are looking for now. I don't think he fits what we're looking to do. And as much as you want to have a big name come in, as much as a big name is all exciting and that, the reality is, guys, is that I'd rather sacrifice on a CV, on a name, on a bit of quality for someone that actually suits the way that we're playing and will fit into the team much better. That's my thought on it. That is absolutely my thought on it. So yeah, you know, I haven't got an issue with this. It's just weird that it's being talked about as, you know, it's being the age thing's mentioned, but I actually don't think it's a bad thing that we're not going for Osimhen. And I think it absolutely makes sense that, you know, the deal is just way too expensive. It's just far too much money for someone that, let's be honest, no one's really that sure about right now. And you know what? Like, I think it goes to show that either people aren't as keen on Osimhen as was made out, or secondly, they just don't see value for money at that price. So right now, for me, I could see Osimhen. I could see Osimhen staying at Napoli, because right now at this price, I don't see anyone going in for him unless it's Saudi Arabia. I don't see PSG being prepared to spend this amount of money. And again, you know, let's wait and see what happens. But I would have expected if people were as keen on Osimhen as was being made out, then I would have expected, to be honest, guys, I would have absolutely expected someone to have made a move by now. But people haven't made a move, guys. People have not made a move. So it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one. And I suspect the longer this goes on without people making a move, maybe Napoli will look at accepting a deal less than the release clause. There's also potentially that there's also potentially the waiting game for it as well. But I suspect, if I'm being honest, I think Osimhen there's 3 choices here. He goes to PSG, he stays at Napoli, or he springs a curveball and goes to Saudi Arabia. I don't know which one it's going to be, but ultimately on Osimhen, just to round out, guys, I think it's absolutely the right choice that Chelsea aren't pursuing this, and they're going to look at alternative targets, because A, it's way too much money, and B, I don't think he's perhaps now what we're looking for, and I think the plans have slightly changed. Not to mention £113 million in astronomical wages on someone that's only scored 20 league goals in a season once in his career is a massive, massive gamble. And it simply is not value for money. Simply isn't value for money. I know that's not stopped Chelsea in the past from massively overpaying for players, but I just don't think you can go for a third £100 million signing in 3 seasons. that's just not making sense to me. That is not making sense to me. But let's have a look here. He's a 70 to 85 million striker, tops. Been very quiet on the Toney topic. Would it surprise you if we go back in for him? Has been very quiet on Toney. It absolutely would surprise me, given that Fabrizio's saying, according to his information, that age of the player played a part. Then Toney by default has to be ruled out because he's older. Because he's older than what's his face? Because he's older than Osimhen. So yeah, you'd have to say that automatically rules Toney out. But this is Chelsea. Never say never. Things don't always seem to be done logically with this football club. So yeah, let's wait and see on that front. I don't think it is a huge mistake. I don't think it's a huge mistake at all. Arsenal would rather have Sesko. Arsenal are far more interested in Sesko than they are in Osimhen. And look, I'm not saying Osimhen's bad. He's just not value for money. It just financially, the deal doesn't make sense. What else have we got coming in? I'd rather try for Osimhen next year if I really wanted him. 1 year left on his contract then too. Yeah, exactly. That's also true. I think we need to be looking for another up-and-coming La Liga or Bundesliga player like Jackson. We don't necessarily need a starter. Maybe not. And this is where I think Sesko comes into it. And again, Gyökeres would be a great choice, but that's gone reasonably quiet on a Chelsea perspective. So I don't expect Gyökeres to come in either. I really don't. I honestly think now, I don't want to say it's Sesko or bust, but it's going to be Sesko or a random, not a random, but it's going to be Sesko or something that we're not expecting, like a little surprise from up the sleeve kind of vibe. That would be my thoughts on it. I think it could be a surprise on that front from up the sleeve. It's either going to be Sesko or it's going to be sort of a bit of an unknown that no one really knows a lot about, and nothing much has been spoken about. That's where I see this one at. Here we go, Fab. I don't think there is a here we go. Is there a here we go? I've got no idea. No. I mean, also, what's true as well, by the way, here you could sign Tosin, Olise, Somerville, a new goalkeeper, and Sesko for just £50 million more than it would cost to pay for Osimhen. The Osimhen deal simply isn't worth it. Oh, it's a here we go, Tosin. Is Tosin Adarabioyo a here we go? Let's have a look. Apparently it is, guys. Apparently it is. Adarabioyo is a here we go. Not only have we had the breaking news on the medical, Tosin Adarabioyo to Chelsea is here we go, guys. Adarabioyo to Chelsea, here we go. Looks like that's done, guys. That is going to be announced next week, medical next week. Tosin is a here we go. Nothing's happened to Murillo. It's someone that the club have watched. And look, could go back in for in the summer. Let's wait and see. Tosin, here we go. Good business by the board. Yeah, we've worked really hard. We've completed a hijack before the window's even started. The hijack, mate. Don't mess with the hijackers, guys. We're serious in the window. We are serious in the window. Don't mess with us. Don't mess with us. We are the hijackers, people. That is what we do. That is what we do, guys. But yeah, confirmed. Tosin Adarabioyo to Chelsea. Here we go. 1 minute ago, tweeted by Fabrizio. Deal is done. Deal is done. Tosin Adarabioyo to Chelsea. Here we go. Initial approach was made 1 month ago. Medical tests have been booked, set to take place next week. Documents set to be signed after medical if all goes to plan. Exclusive story confirmed. There he is, guys. Tosin Adarabioyo to Chelsea is here we go. Deal done. Adarabioyo, yeah, it will become a Chelsea player. And in isolation, guys, this is a very smart move. A very smart move in isolation. But let's see what the domino effect of this is. Let's see what the domino effect is. Do I think we end up with John Duran from Villa? No, I don't think we do. But you can never say never. Dovbyk links. Again, Dovbyk's a good player, but I'm not fully sold. He's had one good season. Obviously he could do pretty well. Let's make no mistake about it. He absolutely could do pretty well. But yeah, I'm not fully sure. I don't expect us to go for Duran. I really don't. I really don't think we'll go for John Duran. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But this is really good business. A great deal in isolation. And we've got it wrapped up very quickly, moving very smartly behind the scenes, guys. Moving very smartly behind the scenes. And this is the sort of shit that we need to be doing. Moving very, very smartly behind the scenes here. Done. Deal done. Tosin Adarabioyo. Very savvy move in isolation. But if it means that Trev leaves, maybe not so much. But yeah, we've moved quickly there. And look, you can criticize this ownership for a number of things. Tosin Adarabioyo is 26 years of age. 26 years of age. Said was crying, Tosin going to Chelsea. Yeah, might drop Said a message, see if he's all right. But yeah, guys, I talk about that. That's some development, people. That is some development. We literally go from Chelsea are advancing at the start of the day, suddenly to 5:15. Here we go. Deal done. Tosin Adarabioyo, here we go. That is a quick deal, guys. A quick deal, if I don't say so myself. That's crazy. First signing in before pre-season. Tosin 26. Yep. We don't need young players. That's obviously the model the club's going down. So yeah, unfortunately, there are going to be a lot of those. But yeah, that's moved really quickly today. So the first summer signing for Chelsea is all but done. Just needs to undergo the medical, contract agreed. So yeah, fantastic. Exciting times, guys. First signing is all but through the door. We'll have a double announcement next week. We'll have the Maresca announcement and we will have the Tosin Adarabioyo announcement as well. So yeah, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Tosin as a right centre back is in through the door. Brilliant news. Tosin to Chelsea. Here we go, guys. Outstanding piece of business. Sami Mokbel adding that Tosin is scheduled to arrive back in the UK inside the next 24 hours with a view to completing the formalities. No confirmation of any Newcastle move to improve their offer. But even if they did, it would be quite a reversal for Tosin to have a change of heart now. So yeah, Newcastle haven't necessarily gone back in or anything like that. Tosin's tall. I think he's like a 6'5". 6'4" or 6'5". He's a tall guy. The height's going to be really important in both boxes, people. The height's going to be really important in both boxes. But yeah, breaking. Tosin Adarabioyo to Chelsea is here we go. Absolutely brilliant news. Brilliant news, guys. Yeah, let me just quickly round out with this Sesko stuff. Let's have a look quickly at the Sesko thing, and then I will round this one out. Where is the Sesko thing? Yeah, this one here. So Chelsea and Arsenal have made the most concrete approaches to date for Benjamin Sesko. Sesko hasn't agreed to any club yet, and his release clause is £55 million. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens with this. Chelsea are clearly interested. We're clearly moving fast and getting business done early. So I really wouldn't rule out any further business being ruled out before the start of the season. I really wouldn't rule it out, guys, before the Euros starts even. I honestly think we could get, we could expect a bit more business. Whether this is just, us moving fast and it was opportunistic, I don't know. But yeah, it's it's a good signing for us in terms of, it adds to the squad. He's free, 26 years of age, leadership capabilities, Premier League experience, not big money, and he hasn't cost anything. Is nothing. You cannot look at it as anything other than a good deal. Because there's no pressure on him, and if it doesn't work out, we didn't pay any money for him, and we're going to make a profit on him anyway. That's the reality. Look, what I would say is there's no guarantee that Trev is leaving, as I mentioned earlier. But, unfortunately, in isolation, this is a good piece of business and a good deal. But if it means that Trevoh Chalobah is leaving the club, then it does sour it. It does sour it. But yeah, look, this is where we're at, guys. Benjamin Sesko, Chelsea and Arsenal have made the most concrete approaches for him. But let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens, guys. Let's wait and see what happens. Yeah, I think he is right-footed. He's right centre-back. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see on that front, people. Well, Reece James is going to be captain next season. He is the captain. 26 is a great age for it to be signing. It's a great age. So yeah, let's wait and see what happens on this one. But I honestly think this is a good deal. I think this is a good deal. And I think there's just as much chance that Trev does that as well. He's done it before. He's got 4 years left on his deal, as I said, so there's no need for him to go and do that. But yeah, as it stands on the striker front, I think the most likely is Sesko, or Chelsea are going to be pushing hardest for Sesko. If he prefers to go to Arsenal or someone else comes in for him, then I don't really know what we're going to do. And I suspect that there might be a surprise up the sleeve of the ownership, because right now, if it's not Sesko, I'm not really sure. I haven't really got any idea on who it's going to be. But yeah, let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see on that front. Let's wait and see on that front. But yeah, I'm pleased. Here we go for Tosin Adarabioyo. Here we go. And yeah, the height's going to be key, and the ball play and his ability on the ball on the ball is going to be good as well. So yeah, exciting, guys. I think it is exciting. But yeah, guys, I am going to round this one out here. Do I think Lukaku's staying? No, he absolutely isn't staying. Thinking outside the box, Olise could be the answer for the striker issue. If we lose out on Sesko, it could be. I don't think Olise has got that sort of centre forward instinct in him. Yeah, I would absolutely love that. Looking forward to Chelsea next season with the striker. Yeah, let's see who it ends up being. But again, Sesko has only been playing first team football this season. Not true, because he's been playing for a number of seasons for RB Salzburg. So it's not just this season. He's been playing regularly for a few seasons. One link of Sesko to Arsenal doesn't mean he's guaranteed to go there. No, it absolutely doesn't. We need someone clinical. So I think Sesko would be a good buy. Yep. Havertz has not done anything special at Arsenal, and one report saying that Sesko might prefer a move to Arsenal absolutely doesn't mean that he's going there. Look, we could miss out on. Look, Sesko could choose to go to Arsenal, but nothing is certain now. Nothing is certain right now. Do you think Maresca will continue Poch's work? I think he'll continue and hopefully improve it. Chelsea isn't even linked to world-class players. Look, there's not that many world-class players about. I would love to take Ivan Toney, but I don't see it happening due to the age factor. But yeah, people, big up to everyone for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated as always, guys. Make sure on the way out, guys, you smash the like button. Get these likes up to 200. We're about 20 away, so smash the like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel on the way out as well. Let's try and add another 10. Let's try and add another 10 subscribers on the way out, guys. So if you're locked in now, you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button on your way out. Get me towards the 10K mark. Every new subscriber helps. Join the community, become part of the channel. So yeah, please hit the subscribe button on the way out. 10K, there's a shirt giveaway for a Chelsea shirt of your choice on the upcoming season when they release them. So to subscribe to be in with a chance to win. Smash the likes. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night, guys. Tosin Adarabioyo to Chelsea. Here we go. And Real Madrid or Dortmund. I'd love Dortmund, but I think it'll be Real Madrid. Adarabioyo, here we go. Links to Somerville, links to Olise. The summer's just starting, I think, guys. The summer's just starting. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your night, guys. Enjoy the Champions League final. Big up for the love, big up for the support, as always. And I'll catch you lot tomorrow afternoon. Sunday, 4 p.m, guys. I will be live again, unless there's any big news beforehand. Sunday, 4 p.m, live. Catch you there. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Up the Chelsea, and peace out.